Welcome back to Owlchemist Tarot, serving tarot straight up. So I'm going to be doing a pick a card reading because you guys seem to really like them. I am going to do kind of just for September. I don't know. We're just going to see what comes out, to be honest with you. Pick a cards are, you know, kind of more just general, like most of my readings are. So, because it's not for you as an individual. And so take a look, and whichever deck that you are drawn to the most, that's the easiest way to pick. You can obviously watch both readings and just take the messages that resonate with your situation. If you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe so you know when new videos go live. And if you're a return subby, I always love you. Thank you so much. So this is pile 1 and this is pile 2. So I'll just take a minute. 1, 2. Okay, we're going to start with 1. And by the way, I have an oracle deck on top and then a tarot deck on the bottom. So I'm going to tell you what the decks are because I know you guys always ask me. And sometimes I don't always answer, and I'm trying to get better about that. The oracle deck is the psychic reading cards, this one, and then the tarot is the 8 coins tattoo tarot deck. Okay, so really cool. I really love both of these. Awesome images. So we're just going to be pulling a couple cards for each and seeing what's going on. And I shuffled pretty extensively offline, so just, I mean, you know, no one wants to watch a reader shuffle for 20 minutes on camera. Whoops, okay. And I love oracle decks, but when they're big cards like this, I have a hard time shuffling. Okay, so let's pull a few tarot cards and see what's going on. Okay, all right. Interesting. I think with pile 1, there is a lot of change on the horizon here. For some of you, by the time you watch this, you could have already gone through it, or you might go through it at that time. The 2 cards that came out was the Juggler and Hearts. Okay, so for some of you, there's a couple messages here. You are juggling everything, not having a lot of help. Even if you're in a relationship, it's like you're really on your own doing most of the work. Paying the bills, holding down multiple jobs, you know, raising kids, keeping a house clean, making sure everyone has their finger and toes attached. There is a lot going on. It's almost like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. For a lot of you, you haven't been sleeping good. You haven't been eating right. You haven't been able to have any type of exercise or just like breaks. You know what I mean? Like going out and just kind of being able to like, when you have release, for a lot of you, it's been kind of like emotional. Maybe you've kind of just like cried and been so pissed off and frustrated because you're like, that's the only way that you could release and get things out. You know, I will tell you, I feel for some of you, it's heartbreaking that the people in your life or even a partner isn't carrying some of the weight that you are. Even if you voice this, it's like hitting a brick wall. They're not, you know, understanding the amount of work that you are doing, and, you know, it's just not fair. Okay. So for some of you, and I'm saying this because in this card, it's like this broken heart, and it feels like there's some distrust and just like irritation and stress, and it's almost like you really don't even have the energy to waste on this other person. Now, this can be family or friends, but if you're in a relationship and it's just kind of very one-sided at the moment, you know, you feel heartbroken because it's like, why am I even doing this? It's like I'm dealing with another kid, you know what I mean? Especially if you have a family. I think for some of you though too, this can be releasing. It's actually allowing you to see that like what you don't have to put up with. You have to make a choice and a decision on what you want to keep in your life and what you don't. This can also mean that you don't have to prioritize and juggle things that don't bring you emotional happiness. So for instance, for someone who maybe is single, they don't have kiddos or anything like that, you're working 2 to 3 jobs, maybe because it's necessary, but maybe because you're just like nervous and you're trying to like, you know, build your savings account or build more of an investment portfolio. But I really think that it's like time is money, right? So like, it's really focusing where you're spending your energy and being the most impactful and the most effective. So it's really looking at taking a step back and saying, is this really in the end going to create my heart's desire? Is this going to make me happy? Is this going to make me fulfilled? Is this going to give me emotional, fulfillment or connection? And for a lot of you, I think that you're juggling so much that you've kind of lost sight on really what is the most important thing to you. Okay. So lots of change. And again, it's hard when you're the one person holding it down. But know this, that you're strong and that spirit trusts that, everything is going to work out in the way it's supposed to. For some of you, this is a lesson. It's a hard lesson. It's in a way, it's kind of like you're at a breaking point where you've had to go through this to see something for yourself, especially if it relates to another person. Okay. Now I'm saying this because for many of you, you guys have been working so hard. The Eight of Pentacles came out. This is being very diligent. This is being very studious. So this can be somebody who is like a single parent who holds down 2 jobs, raising kids, and going to school at night. We're talking about like juggling a lot, okay? And for each of you, there could be different scenarios, but you kind of get what I'm getting to. Is that you're juggling a lot of different things, and you're still staying on top of efforts and projects and extracurricular activities that are really important to you and that mean something to you and that are going to help you accelerate your career, your life, but it's just taking a toll right now, okay? Eight of Pentacles, this is also connecting to people who can help and give you guidance. It's like when the student is ready, the teacher appears type of energy. And for some of you, you need to be brave enough to raise your hand and ask for help, ask for guidance. Because I think for some of you, you're kind of at a point where you don't know if you're going down the quickest route or the easiest route. I don't want to say the easiest, but like the best, most efficient route. That's what I should say. Because you could be going the long way around and there was a shorter way to do it, right? So I think that if you ask and raise your hand and be a little bit more diligent and Spirit keeps saying the word humble, and I don't think that it's because you guys are arrogant by any means. I think for some of you, it's hard for you to ask for help, mainly just because you don't want to bother anybody else with your problems. That's where I'm getting, okay? The Knight of Swords is you are charging in. You're on a mission. You're really focused. You are, researching and looking all at the statistics and the data, and you're, probably being very studious and having to read a lot, and you're having to go through a lot of papers and assignments and all that. And it's almost like you're kind of just learning as you go. The Knight of Swords is kind of charging in, sometimes a little recklessly, not knowing exactly how to do every element of a project or a job or schoolwork or a course, whatever the case is. You're really just kind of going in and just trusting and believing in yourself that you're going to figure it out and it's going to unfold the way it's supposed to. Which, you know what I mean? That's not a bad outlook. It's just that it's really hard when you're trying to juggle and be very responsible and grounded and stable for other people. And, you're also trying to accelerate, another part of your life, like your career or your profession or a business or, gaining more notoriety in a space. It's hard because you're juggling a lot. The thing is that this is telling me to not quit. You're on the right path, even though it's very tiring right now. Do not give up hope. Try not to lose steam, because at the end of the day, kind of what you're going through is the hard part. You're in the thick of the storm and you're about to come out of it. Now, the Six of Swords is literally going into a calmer state, a calmer environment, mentally being a lot more at ease and seeing things kind of for what it is, seeing the bigger picture, understanding that, all the change and disruption that you're going through and that you even creating essentially was allowing you, like almost building a bridge to allow you to walk past and kind of go through life in a different direction and be on the path. And it is a little bit more smooth sailing now. So I feel like this is telling me that all the work that you're putting in and being very studious and very focused and, not giving up and having like a real targeted focus and being very, just that hustler mentality, it's going to get you where you want to be. It may not be overnight and it may not be as quickly as you want it, but what I can tell you is that this is mental strength that is getting you from A to B. So do not give up. And also really look at the other things that you're juggling and trying to manage in your life. Is it worth it? Okay. And the reason why I'm just saying this, kind of bringing it back, is that some of us, and I'm very guilty of this, can get excited about a lot of things, and I can carry a lot of things and do a lot of things. And it's almost like at some point you're trying to like spin 20 plates in the air. And at some point that's not sustainable. Something's got to give. So focus on what's going to really make you happy. In the long run, what do you really want to accomplish and achieve? And if you need to take some time out to figure out what that looks like, do that, because it kind of helps you get a better line of sight. And in Virgo season, it's a great time to do that. Virgos are very meticulous, they're very organized, they're very detail oriented, they're very strategic, they can see kind of the forest through the trees. So I would tell you that take the time and really figure out what is your true calling and what's going to make you the happiest, okay? All right, so pile 2. Let's see what's going on with pile 2. All right. Now, this is a different deck. This is the Soul's Journey lesson cards, and the tarot is the After Tarot deck, okay? So, because a lot of you guys ask the decks, and I know I owe you guys a video on, like, my collection, which is kind of extensive, and sometimes I'm like, oh, because I don't want to come off braggadocious. That's not, sometimes I look back and I'm like, I spent a lot of fucking money on this. But I love them and I buy them when I resonate and I feel drawn to. So there's that, okay? So let's see. Okay, one card here. So pile 2. All right, okay. Now let's get some tarot cards. Just looking at the top. Oh, hold on. Hold the phone. Whoa. That's what happened. Sorry. 2 cards were flipped over. I was like, oh, I don't need to do that. I don't need to just completely shuffle my cards all over the place. That would have been a pain in the ass. Sorry. Sorry about that. Leave a comment on what pile you guys chose so I can, kind of tell what's going on. And of course you can you can share if you would like what's going on with you, but only if you feel comfortable. No pressure. Pile 2, come on. We need one more card, pile 2. One more card, pile 2. All right. Okay. So the 2 oracle cards that came out were self-esteem and worry. Okay. So it says, I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. And the worry card reads, I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. For some of you, you are very, very focused on your physical appearance. And that it might hinder you from getting maybe the attention that you're looking for or from the person you're interested in. So first of all, I'm not going to tell you how to become more confident because I think everybody has their own way. I think that there's tons of different ways. But self-esteem always it starts in how you feel about yourself, right? I'm going to say this, and I've always been very open and honest, especially with clients and even on lives and things like that on YouTube. If this is something where it's really deeply rooted and there's a lack of self-esteem, then going to therapy or talking to a professional that's not a bad thing, right? Because sometimes it can be deeply rooted that you don't even know where it starts. But this is realizing that you are an amazing person, that you have a lot to offer, and that you don't have to settle for anyone or anybody, or any type of relationship to make you feel whole. You're whole your entire self, okay? And that's why I have always had a very different viewpoint when it comes to like soulmate, even the twin flame thing. I don't use those descriptors very often because I think people romanticize and they forget that all the work, everything starts with self. So this is realizing that you have the power to change at any point. And it's just starting to peel back those layers, right? The worry card, I feel like, you know, for some of you, I'm getting the sense that you feel like their time is running out. Like maybe because of your age or your situation or like where you are in life, like maybe you feel like you're, you know, stuck in your ways and that you're not, you know, it's not really an option, or you don't want to change. You'll change for the right person, or you'll change for yourself when you want to. I also think that worry, the things that you're kind of like holding at real estate in your mind, is lowering your self-esteem. You could be worrying that you might be single forever, that you're not going to find the right person, that you are tired of being alone, or I don't want to get into another relationship and have it end the way it did. That, you know, am I old maid or whatever, you know, the crone. And that's not the case. I think there's somebody on this planet for everybody, right? And it's all about aligning and taking time and working on yourself and being happy and centered and recognizing that you can attract what you want. You just have to be very clear and discover who you are, you know? And I think a lot of people don't like that step. It's like, well, how do I attract my soulmate in or my person in? It's like, that person's already out there. You just have to align to the energy. It's like feeling it and like deserving of it, and that you are happy with yourself, or at least accepting of yourself. And we change and evolve. So, you know, how you look at relationships and people is going to evolve too. I'll just give an example. A lot of us, like when we talk about, oh, well, I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And that rings true. You're going to change and evolve. But I do feel like there's no need to worry, because the right person is out there for you, and it's going to happen when you least expect it, right? Because we're not forcing anything. We don't chase. We align. So the first two cards that came out were the Lovers and the Magician, right? Now this is two major arcana cards. The Lovers is a soul connection. And, you know, the Magician card essentially is, you know, a master manifester. This is someone you can actually create the relationship that you want, that you can. And by the way, people always ask, well, how do you do that? It's too much to do on a pick a card reading, but I would say start listening or reading, you know, Esther and Jerry Hicks or Abraham Hicks, Wayne Dyer, you know, start listening to the law of attraction, start becoming more in tune with that, because I think for many of you, a lot of the answers that you seek, you'll actually get from some of those teachings. The Lover's card is also a decision. It's leaving a part of yourself, you know, the person that didn't work out in certain relationships, or the person that you didn't really like, or the part of yourself that you would, you know, we change. So leave that person in the past, and don't look at it as, you know, a weight that holds you back, or, you know, embarrassment or any of those things. Say, that's who I was. It's made me who I am today, you know, like F off, you know, because if somebody doesn't like you, I mean, are you really going to put energy into somebody that you're not interested in either? Like, keep swiping to the left, right? But the Lover's card is a soul connection, and the Lover's card can mean that, you know, the right person can come along. When you find you, they find you type of energy. The Magician card is somebody who can manifest and aligns and understands the law of attraction and realizes that everything they need is at their fingertips. And it all starts with you. You are magic. You are power. You are the conduit of the energy. You. It's not anything else. It's not makeup. It's not a certain size. It's not getting, you know, having to be a certain weight. It's not wearing certain clothing. It's not any of those things. It's you. It's your magnetism. It's your charisma. It's your confidence. It's your, you know, ability to walk into a room and shift the energy. Okay. So, and that goes back to this self-esteem, right? And worrying about something that hasn't happened yet is only going to bring more fear, and that's not what you want. So it's about transmuting negative into positive. And it's really rewiring your subconscious to feel that you are deserving to be in a loving relationship with somebody who cares about you and respects you. Now, one thing I do want to say with the Five of Wands is that I feel like this is a lot of inner energy and inner work that you've been going through. And again, in order to get to this point, you know, you have to realize that this inner work that you're experiencing, or at least will go through, is necessary, because it's almost like you're fighting with yourself. And it's you know, and you want to speak gently to yourself. You should be your biggest cheerleader, right? And so if you don't see yourself in a loving way, if you don't see yourself that you are of value, that you're absolutely, you know, going to be an amazing partner, you know, there's some work there. And what I will tell you is that if you're going through this now, as you see this video, you're almost at the end of it, okay? The Five of Wands is almost like the hard part's almost over, okay? And it's realizing and kind of identifying and working through some of those pain points and saying that, you know, gosh, I can, you know, I can switch my outlook at any point, okay? And all I have to do is start putting action behind it. So do things that make you feel happy or feel confident. You know, put energy and focus into things that allow your creativity to flow. And so here's a story that I want to say, you know, pile two, and I don't know why I need to tell somebody this, but it's Spirit keeps saying to tell this story. There was a therapist that said, I'm going to give you two scenarios. There was a woman who industry or society standards would say who's very beautiful, okay? And she is, you know, very thin and lean and athletically built, and she gained 5 pounds. Now, not that anyone else would notice that. She was like devastated. So when she walked into a room of people, she wasn't very confident or happy, even though she looked great and by industry or society standards, she was very beautiful. But like, because that 5 pounds, or because she wasn't perfect, or some, you know, like it weighed on her energy. Versus a woman who maybe by society would have seen her and said, oh, this person might be quote unquote overweight. And again, this is just a story as an example. But she lost 30 pounds. She got into a dress that she's wanted to try and to wear forever. She looks good. She got her hair done. She feels better. And she walked into that room confident, happy, excited, and fucking blew the crowd away, because people were noticing her, that she had this high vibration and this energy, and people were just drawn to her happiness because they saw her and were like, holy cow, like whatever she's taking, I want to, right? And so it's all about perspective. And I think for some of you, it's just changing your perspective. So again, if you can realize that and transmute the negativity into positive, that's half the battle, right? So again, Spirit keeps saying when you find you, they find you. You can manifest the relationship that you want. It starts with you, right? So again, I want to leave the reading there. I hope you guys have liked this. Tell me which pile you've chose. And again, you don't have to share your personal story unless you feel comfortable. Thank you guys always for watching. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, because I post there quite a bit too. Bye guys.